Are you an accounting or tax professional who wants to stay ahead without spending a dime? Join thousands who trust insightful accountant and tax practice news to keep them informed and empowered. Get expert updates on QuickBooks, Zero, tax planning strategies, and workflow tips delivered straight to your inbox. Whether you're a solo bookkeeper, firm leader, or tax advisor, these newsletters are your shortcut to what's next in the profession. They're free, practical, and built for people like you. Visit insightfulaccountant.com and hit subscribe to start your smarter workflow today for free.
Welcome everyone to the January 2026 edition of QB Talks. I'm Bill Murphy and I'll be your host for today. Matt's in the background and he'll be displaying our polls as we go along. I want to bring you up to date regarding our housekeeping. This session is eligible for up to 1 hour of CPE. In order to earn that hour, you must have been here for a full 50 minutes, and you must complete all 3 polling questions. You will receive notification of how you can download a PDF of the slide deck and how you can also obtain the recording of today's webinar. We will only be using questions and answers, and I'm going to do my best to pick a few as we go along. And if we happen to have time, I'll try to answer the rest. But I'm telling you, we have a lot of content that I'm going to be rushing through today. Chat is turned off and is not available for you to use. However, Matt may be posting content-related information in the chat window. Everybody just calls me Murph, and I've been around since dirt was first made. As I said, we've got a lot to cover today, so I'm not going to go over my bio. And in fact, you're probably already tired looking at my ugly face, so I'm going to turn off my camera. And I'll just mention that we have a poll. We want to know if you're interested in information about Insightful Accountant and also our Companion Be Insightful membership program. So take about 30 seconds here to give me a response to this question. All right, I'm going to count that down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we'll close the poll. We don't need to see the responses. Learning objectives. Now, I wrote more learning objectives than we needed, and so I picked 3, and I just happened to pick the first 3 to use for our CPE-related polling questions today. So I've highlighted those so that you'll know in advance the content we're going to be quizzing you on with respect to earning CPE. And we're going to talk today about what's new over roughly the last 110 days with QuickBooks. Some things may sound like they were a little longer ago than 115 days, but that's because they may have been partially implemented and then fully implemented during the period we're looking at. And we're talking about things like the mandatory interface change, which was fully implemented on October 1, to the new version of the new QBO, and AI-powered bank feeds, streamlined reconciliation, multiple new enhancements to inventory functionality, improved banking, multi-currency support, larger batch imports. So, let's talk a little about the new QBO with streamlined navigation. Some people think it's streamlined. Some people think that it's yucko. While you will find new AI agents throughout much of this new experience, It's primarily the business feed where you get your information. And of course, the look and feel is supposed to be updated to be kind of what is the new approach. So we got the little bitty menu, I still call it the menu bar down the left hand side. Uh, you have the My Menu feature that kind of replaced favorites. Yesterday, I heard a couple of people talking about the suitcase is gone, the suitcase is gone. Well, you can put your accounting tools under My Menu. Um, and We want you to post in the questions window whether you like the new interface or whether you don't. Now, agentic AI is at the core of the new QBO, the new platform. And as such, much of the work is being done for you, or at least Intuit is trying to make it do most of the work for you. Accounting agents save time and reduce errors in bookkeeping, as though any of us would have any errors in our bookkeeping. The customer agent's designed to spot leads, but it's really designed to work with your email and MailChimp. And so you have to be using Google Mail. And so You may not find it all that beneficial. The finance agent is uh, part of QBO Advanced and Intuit Enterprise Suite, and it's designed to do some advanced analysis on your client data. Payments agent is to help you ensure that you're collecting payments and let the agent done your clients. And project management, if you're using project management in QBO Advanced or in IES, then it's designed to help you track your projects, ensure you're on track, make sure your costs and revenues are within budget, etc., etc. Uh, the customer hub is now supposed to provide increased CRM functionality. And I want to have you tell me whether or not you've yet to start making use of that added functionality. So go ahead and to your Q&A, say, I like the CRM, or I haven't tried it, or I hate it. Now, there have been several inventory updates that have slid in, and you may have noticed even today. I had an article about QBO Inventory Part 1, and it really focused on the ability to optionally use average cost. Uh, they call it moving average cost in QBO. It's the same old method we've used to track inventory valuation in QuickBooks Desktop for years and years. The reason they implemented this was to help them try to attract people from desktop, saying, we don't have to change the value of your inventory or the way it's computed, and you won't have to file an IRS form, et cetera, and get approval for the change, which I don't know of anybody that's ever got a rejection when they change because their software changed. But still, it does have an impact, and it's valuable for certain kinds of businesses. And you have this choice now whether you want to use FIFO or moving average cost. The difference is that you have to start with that to begin with, and you can't change it after the fact. Uh, One of the others is people may not have realized that now sales orders, which almost 2 years ago were implemented, but implemented as a part of the incorporation of e-commerce, and they were essentially restricted to e-commerce. They can manually now be created in QBO. They provide the same kind of functionality in terms of reserving inventory that sales orders perform inside QuickBooks Desktop. There still are some issues, but they're working those out and they're improving. And sales orders will actually be part two of my QBO inventory mini series, and that'll be coming out next week while I am hopefully at the Acumatica conference. Um, Item receipts is a new functionality, and it means that you can receive inventory even when you haven't gotten the vendor's bill yet. This is an option you elect, and once you elect it, you're stuck with it. And that'll actually be part three of my inventory series in a couple of weeks. AI powered banking. Now, here's another one that I'm going to ask you to tell us whether you like the changes that have been made. Basically, Intuit decided, well, all the old bank rules where people couldn't get them right and people kept having to change them and they consistently weren't working right. We'll use AI in order to do that kind of reclamation of your transactions and trying to ensure that they're posted correctly based on all your old history. And so it's supposed to be trying to match everything up based on what you've done with it before. The problem is that, as we know, you have certain vendors that are one thing for one thing and one thing for another, and they generally tried to deal with things based on what the average cost was or average amount, and allocate that to where they thought it went. But it works for some people. It isn't working great yet. Uh, and Also, the thing is that it's learning all the time, though. And we all know that AI is not just uh, a trend or a fancy that's come along. It's here to stay. And the reality is, it's going to probably start doing even more in your QBO. And they also implemented improved bank fee or alternative bank fee to import by allowing you to bring in bank and credit card statements in numerous forms, PDF and CSV and PNG, et cetera, et cetera. And then the accounting agent is supposedly able to extract that data, determine how it should be categorized, present it to you. If it's got questions, oh, what do you think I should do with this? Or uh, is this right or not, etc. Um, so if you've tried that, let us know what you think about that. See, I'm going to keep you working today, telling me what you think about all these things that they've introduced and brought forward. Now, Intuit has signaled that they are going to get rid of QuickBooks Online Accountant. After all, it's been around for 12 years. And so they believe it's time to have a new product. And that new product is something they're calling Intuit Accountant Suite, which is a unified hub for accounting. And folks, it is significantly different. I'll talk about the application itself, but I want to talk about what's really different uh, right now or in this product than the way that QBO accountant works. Every QBO accountant is a realm inside the Intuit platform. It is a unique entity in and of itself. And Intuit has provided ways that each of those realms can be connected. It's been you invited somebody that you brought on staff who had their own QBO, and it tied it together. And with that, they kept their own clients still in that realm, and they were in that realm, but it all worked together. The whole concept behind the new Intuit Accountant Suite is to reduce firms down to a single realm whenever possible. There are limitations uh, to the ability to automatically do that or incorporate multiple realms into a singular realm by yourself. But Intuit has some tools that they can make all of those complex things work in most cases. Uh, the product is still in beta and you can test it. And the way you test it is you go to the gear icon within QBO Accountant. Uh, and once the window opens, at the bottom of that window, which is your settings, there's an option to select Try Intuit Accountant Suite. And there's two different flavors of it. You might want to just try the core. You can try the enhanced version that's got the extra bells and whistles. I will just tell you that once they finally uh, mandate transition, just as they did with the old QBO to the new QBO, and that's scheduled for the end of 2026, the beginning of 2027. The core product will be free, and the enhanced product will be charged, and different aspects of the enhanced product will likely be charged on the basis of the number of clients you have connected. Imagine that. Uh, if they'd ever been able to figure out how to charge for the number of QBO desktop files that everybody was supporting at one time, they probably would have started charging for each individual file, but they never could really figure out how to do that. Well, anyway, in this aspect, for example, books closed. If you had books closed, then you have to add your client specifically to books closed, even though your client is already inside your Intuit Accountant Suite. That's a difference as well. Intuit Accountant Suite is designed so that you can open other realms, specifically your client's realm, inside Intuit Accountant Suite. That means you don't have to go up and click to change from your your QuickBooks Online accountant to your client's file. The data you need out of your client's file is directly accessible inside Intuit Accountant Suite. Now, that's a plus. It streamlines the work. It means that you can be looking at multiple clients' data at one time in a dashboard. It means that you can see what your clients have and haven't done. And so, it's great. But it is a substantial change. Now, as I said, you can create your own personalized navigation inside this new tool, much the way you can inside your own, inside QBO Accountant. Um, and your bookmarks and creates and tools are all a part of that My menu. Let me go back to the Intuit Accountant Suite a moment and say that if you convert during the trial, you can convert back during the trial, but there are some things that you must consider during the trial using IAS. One of those is that if you go over and migrate clients from another realm, in other words, ultimately, all of your clients, if you've got four people who are using their own QBO accountant and you have linked them, uh, and rather than them logging into your QBO accountant, they log into their own QBO accountant, and those are all linked. They have their clients in that file, and right now, um, you work through the different realms, but ultimately, you're going to absorb those clients out of that realm. With it, all of the people who are connected to that realm in terms of team members, they flow in because they are also connected to clients. And you have to make all this stuff match up. And if you start doing that when you're in this trial, you may find very quickly that if you go back, your data isn't like it was. It's now still in your QBO accountant because it was already brought in. So I just want to make you aware of that. We did a whole program earlier this month about migrating the realms. Uh, Also, in the last 115 days, um, they gave us as accountants access to their business network. Uh, and I don't know how many of you have tried this or used it, but if you use the QuickBooks Business Network to connect to your vendors and your vendors connect to you, or excuse me, if you have clients who are using the business network where their vendors connect to them and they connect to their vendors and they can exchange orders and they can uh, issue a purchase order to you and it's automatically turned into a sales order or an estimate, um, then you can tell us what you think about that in your Q&A. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to look through questions real quick. I appreciate y'all telling us you haven't tried it or you don't like it or um, haven't tried it, not using the CRM. Um, I don't know if I told you to tell me whether you've already tried Intuit Accountant Suite, but if you have, please go ahead and post that. AI is a bunch of crap. Well, what do you expect from an artificial idiot? Okay. Bank rules are not working either. Uh, hmm. Does anyone have problems setting up bank feeds on existing accounts? Uh, Uploading the bank statement worked great. It was awesome. Uh, for the most part, I like the bank feeds. I am using IAS. I have switched to IAS. My jury is still out about IAS. I've not tried it. I'm scared to. Lots of glitches. Okay. And just in time for 1099 filing season, I wrote an article about this a couple of weeks ago. We have a new 1099 dashboard that is inside QBO Accountant. and it's powered by AI automation. It goes out and looks at all of your clients, and it tells you whether they need to file 1099s and which clients are ready, as in their 1099 information is correct and accurate and 100% complete, and which clients have missing vendor information and are not going to be able to file their 1099s until they get that corrected. It's designed to give you a way to say, hey, let's get with it. We got to do these 1099s, and you're missing this, that, or the other, or you're in great shape. And if they're in great shape, then you can actually proceed directly to the workflow to complete their 1099s on their behalf and charge them appropriately. All right, so it is now time for CPE polling question number 1. We want to know which one of the following is not a recent feature update to QBO or QBO Accountant. The totally new QBO mandatory platform replaced the old QBO. AI-powered bank feeds, AI agents. That should be agents. I like Matt changed that to AI gents. Boy, that's a little sexist there. The agent might be AI her. Or a mandatory new platform. Intuit Accountant Suite has replaced QBO Accountant. And give us your answers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And Matt, let's go ahead and close that and display the results. Okay, so the one that is not correct is the last one. IAS is not yet a mandatory replacement for QBO Accountant. Right now, you can use either or both, switching back and forth. But ultimately, IAS will become a new mandatory platform replacing QBO Accountant by the end of December 2026, the beginning of January 2027. Okay. So, what's new in QuickBooks Desktop? Well, here's a few of the things. They now give us a new ability to display the vendors associated with items on invoices, and that information is for our viewing only. You can add this to any of your invoice templates. I really think this might have been better if they had added it to like sales orders, but they didn't do that. They added it to invoices. And maybe even on estimates, it should be available. But anyway, it is one of the new features. And marking estimates inactive. How many years have we done that? If any of you actually ever sent feedback about why don't we have a way to automatically make our estimates inactive when we create a sales order from the estimate? If you've ever contributed that, go ahead and put in, heck yes, I've requested inactive estimates for years. All right, I guess I'll show you a few of these things. This is also another one of the things they did. They finally fixed the fixed asset manager so that we could bring things up to date and that it didn't just crash the moment you tried to launch it. As I mentioned, they added the ability to incorporate vendors into the invoices, but this is internal view only. It does not go out, as I show you over here. It does not go out, and you cannot make it go out in the printed or emailed invoices to your clients. And there's the magic box where you mark that you want your estimates to be made inactive when they are copied over into sales orders. And here's one that I know we're going to get a lot of comments. They have given us a new shipping manager experience, they call it. And it went into effect on December 7th, right before everybody had to start shipping out all their products for the Christmas holidays. And I know a lot of you really appreciated that. They supposedly incorporated the exact same product that for the last 6 months they had been using in QBO. They just didn't bother to read the commentary about the people from QBO saying, this is broken, this doesn't work, it needs to do this, needs to do that. They just gave it to us the same way, essentially. And it works exactly the same way. And if you go out to like LinkedIn and look up shipping manager, it basically says, yuck, 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 yuck. Oh, works okay. Yuck, 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 yuck. It's about 10 to 1 yucks to maybe works okay. Uh, a lot of people hate it. They say it doesn't work. They can no longer do what they were doing, et cetera, et cetera. And hopefully they're getting that feedback. And if you hate the new shipping manager, just go ahead and put that in your Q&A. Or if you happen to like the new shipping manager, and if you haven't even tried it, then say, I don't use shipping manager. All right. And they also, of course, in compliance with the IRS requirements, gave us the ability to properly report excess golden parachutes. What I want to know is, where in the heck do I find a golden parachute? That's the only thing I want to know. I want a golden parachute reported on my 1099, but I certainly want it only if I receive it. And in the last quarter, Intuit updated QuickBooks 2024 so that you can now produce an invoice profitability report. You can produce it for multiple invoices. You can also produce it for a singular invoice. It provides a lot of neat information, and I wrote an article about this. And we don't have time to go into all the details, but if you do concern yourself with item profitability, this is a report that you definitely want to see. And there is an item profitability report that came out along with this, and it will show you profitability for each of your items. This is designed to show you profitability for each of your items that appear on a singular invoice or multiple invoices or invoices for an entire period, et cetera, et cetera. Or you can limit it to all your invoices for a singular customer to know whether or not you're not making enough out of that customer and you're going to have to raise your prices, etc. And they also provided some enhanced email capabilities when you get ready to send sales forms and invoices and statements, allowing you to send one type of form to a different person because they said, well, for example, if I'm sending a sales form like a confirmation of a sales order, or I'm sending a estimate it goes to an entirely different person at this particular company. But when I get ready to send the invoice, it goes to an entirely different person. And if in fact the invoice hadn't been paid and I have to send a statement, it's supposed to go to somebody else. And so now you have that ability to, in effect, say, I want this kind of form to go to this person, this kind of form to go to this person, this kind of person to go to this person for this particular customer. And it'll keep track of that and supposedly send them out properly. So now it is time to look at CPE polling question number 2 regarding desktop. And we want to know which one of the following is not a recent update to QuickBooks Desktop. The vendor internal view only display, uh, marking estimates inactive when creating sales orders, a new shipping manager, or a new inventory valuation method. Which one of these is not an update to desktop? And I'm going to give you 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's close the poll and look at the results. And the majority of you got this right. The one thing that is not a recent update to desktop is a new inventory valuation method. That is a new option for QuickBooks Online. Okay, what's new with Intuit Enterprise Suite? And if you are using or supporting, I should say, Intuit Enterprise Suite, and you have customers using Intuit Enterprise Suite, why don't you just tell me in the Q&A? I have 6 IES clients, or I have 300 IES clients, or I haven't worried about converting anybody to IES yet. There's a new consolidated view that does much the same as I was talking about in Intuit Accountant Suite regarding realm consolidation. Until now, you have been able to produce consolidated reports in Intuit Enterprise Suite of each of the sub entities to the parent entity, but you had to kind of go through bells and whistles to do that, and you had to have certain permissions to do it. And it required a lot of compilation because, yes, when all those got rolled over from QBO to IES, they maintained their individual realms and they were linked or paired together in much the same way that QBO accountant realms were paired together from an internal standpoint. Now they want to consolidate all of that to have all of the consolidation features occur within the master IES subscription. So there's a routine that has to be accomplished, and Intuit has to accomplish that with you, and it's easy for them to do, apparently, but you have to have that in order to deal with this consolidated view. And once it's available, then you can assign consolidated view to other team members, et cetera, et cetera. It provides a dashboard that enables you to see any and all of your IES clients, all of your IES entities and their subordinate entities. And it enables that kind of multi-entity reporting. So Not only can we produce reports in IES that are specific to that entity, but over in IAS, we'll be able to produce reports that show us all the IES entities and their subordinate entities. One of the features that they've recently rolled out in terms of enhanced reporting is KPI scorecards. Um, there's another company that I kind of work with in helping them promote their reporting capabilities that first created the KPI scorecard. And I'm not going to say Intuit was a complete copycat, but much of what is the KPI scorecard available in IES looks distinctively like the KPI scorecard that these other people make. Intercompany allocations have been increased so that you can perform intercompany transactions from more kinds of transactions, bills, checks, expenses, and they continue to work on this. It's not anymore just a journal entry type approach, and they actually are migrating to where if you have um, a whole group of expenses come in, you're going to be able to see all of those in one place and allocate them out to all the multiple entities that are part of your IES intercompany uh, structure. And they are also offering enhanced bundled packages. They call them presentation ready reports. Uh, I wonder where they got that idea from, too. Uh, and this kind of mentions what I was talking about. Rather than spending hours processing repetitive entries, now they have this functionality where you can sum them all together and then dynamically allocate them out. And they have more IA agents than ever available under our new platform. They continue. And when I say the Intuit One platform, some people call it Intuit's Platform One. What it means is that everything is collectively running under this one platform, under the new structure. Ultimately, everything will be uh, the new QBO, or it will be IES, or it will be IAS, all of that on the new platform. And the new customer agent, as I mentioned earlier, is designed to go out and find you customers, track down leads. If you're using the CRM functionality, it monitors all of that so it knows, well, you haven't talked to this guy in like 85 days. You better go call him. Or do you want me to send him an email for you? And then we have this new payroll agent. Um, And if you have tried the new payroll agent that automatically wants to do your payroll for you, um, and it goes and gets your hours for payroll from your employees, and it posts all of the things related to your payroll, and then sends the payroll clerk a message saying, "Hey, I've got your payroll ready. Do you want to look at it, check it, etc." If you've been using that already, let me know whether or not you have been using the new payroll agents and whether you like the new payroll agents. So, my good friend Mario says here with IES Intercompany, I understand that allocations inside of transactions other than JEs require to have shared COA turned on. I might be calling it wrong. And so Yes, you are correct. You have to have a common COA, but even though you have a common COA, that does not mean that the individual entities are using the common COA. Their COAs are actually mapped to the common COA, and when you do intercompany uh, transactions in which whatever you're posting, it can be an item, for example, that's tied to the COA. That COA is uh, mapped to the common COA, and the common COA is mapped to the individual, back to the individual company's COA, so that within the individual company, it still looks the way they want it, but over under the master, it looks the way that the master wants it. Oh, I'm not supposed to use that word. Uh, the parent and versus the subordinate. Got to use this, correct terminology. Got to remember, folks, I was born under other terminology. Um, and they also introduced a way to skip the manual data entry and just allow for W-9s to be incorporated directly and also fast track the 1099s. I'm running so far behind. I got to get moving here. And enhanced reporting, I talked about some of that. One of the things they are incorporating in uh, some of these reports are AI agents that will pop up when you get ready to drill down and tell you what you're looking at as though you didn't know what you're looking at. Okay, so here's our third CPE polling question. And we want to know which of the following are recent features, not features, not features like we've been asking. We want to know the three that are. It says select up to three. I'm telling you, there are three of these that are, and there's one that's not. Consolidated view enhances multi-entity reporting, invoice profitability reporting, and additional intercompany transaction types. And give us your thoughts on that. And we'll move on because we've got to. Let's go ahead and close that poll, Matt, so I can move on because we got lots to cover. Go ahead and close that. All right. Now, what's new with payroll? Well, we just talked about payroll agents, and we also talked about uh, payroll enhancements, the ability to basically incorporate information that your your employee gives you directly. Uh, and there's another agent, a payroll agent, that will now also tell you if, well, this looks awfully funny. Your employee never has had more than 4 hours of overtime, and suddenly this pay period, there's 14 hours of overtime. Are you sure you didn't just miskey that? Um, and then we also saw this fall enhancements to the ability to track payroll against jobs, against, in IES dimensions, against classes, uh, and to automatically do that as a part of using your QuickBooks time. Um, and another one is that if you are using direct deposit, which almost everybody who does QBO payroll is using direct deposit, then you can automatically match the bank transactions that come in as part of bank feeds uh, easier than in the past. And you can do some weird things with reporting in terms of the ability to rearrange payroll columns. Apparently, that was a big request. Um, and they made this huge change over the ability to go in and correct previous payrolls in previous quarters, even if those quarters are after the year end. And I wrote an extensive article about this. I could probably review this right here for more than 15 minutes, and we don't have 15 minutes. Uh, but what I can tell you is that it supposedly works more smoothly. You can do more of it yourself, and then the final actual correction still occurs through Intuit, but it takes less time to get there. This is something we've requested for years in QuickBooks Payroll. The ability to have date effective payroll item types. That this type is only good for this year and this type replaced it for this coming year, and that type can no longer be used at all because it was only supposed to be used 2 years ago and it shouldn't be incorporated, etc. And so now you have that ability in QuickBooks Online Payroll. Did that help us in desktop? Heck no. And as I said, there is also more interest in how much an employee actually costs. And if you're in QBO Plus or QBO Advanced or IES running QuickBooks Online Payroll, you can now produce this new feature that lets you actually cost calculate and then get a true cost rate for your individual employees. And that means you can actually then determine what you should be charging your client for that employee based on their true cost rate. And what's new with bill payment? Well, instant bill payments, which really means speedier. I've yet to actually see anything that's instantaneous, but they are speedier, are available through bill pay. And there is an extra charge of 1% with a minimum of $10 and a maximum of 100 for doing these speedier instant payments. And they've introduced this automated approval workflow, which is a great tool so that bills don't get paid by the wrong person. They have to be approved. They have to be approved before they can be paid, et cetera, et cetera. And not sure why that slide is in there again. And now we have also under payments the ability to actually, if you're in the field using QBO payments, you can actually record a payment against an estimate as a deposit, and then it will sequence through when you get ready to invoice the client for the remainder of the work. And that's part of what I'm talking about is that you can actually accept those payments in the field with the mobile app as well. All right, and this is the biggie, and unfortunately we have only a few minutes left, but this is the one I want to know what you think about the most. As you know, our friends at Intuit introduced the fact that they would once again be jacking up the price of QuickBooks Desktop as of February 1, in which your renewals would be at the higher rate when your renewals come about. And the first of these deals with the cost of Pro going from 999 to 1399. I'm sorry, to $1,149 annually, and plus Premier going from 1399 to 1609 manually. And so again, we want to know. Just tell us in the Q&A how you think this is going to impact your clients. Next, they also told us that they were raising the price for ProAdvisors and the desktop bundles. And if you buy Desktop Accountant individually, it's going from $11.99 to $17.99. If you're buying the ProAdvisor Premier bundle, it's going from $9.99 to $14.99. Well, yeah, that still is cheaper than buying Desktop Accountant individually, but it's a substantial price increase. And if you are a ProAdvisor with the Enterprise bundle, your price is going from $15.99 to $23.99. So we want to know what you think about the price increase for accountants, aka ProAdvisors, to enable you to support your clients who are still on desktop. And is it going to make any change in your decision to support QuickBooks Desktop clients? If you also know, Intuit ended the premise of providing payroll for ProAdvisors under desktop. And if you want to support payroll, then you've got to add a subscription for payroll. And I'll talk about that in a minute. But they also, unlike in past years, kind of kept Enterprise the same. They did raise the prices of Enterprise, and what they are calling white gold, which was gold, is going from 2243 to 2467 for a single user, and silver's going from 1703 to 1873. So those are not that substantial an increase, but they represent a pattern of increase. And when you incorporate for multiple users, then it could very well be more significant for your clients that are on Enterprise. And as I mentioned, desktop payroll is going up whether you're using what they now call desktop payroll, basic and enhanced, or whether you were grandfathered in and using the legacy. And if you made any slightest change, uh, and you didn't actually renew payroll at the time that they removed it from your package, then you lost your ability to get legacy. And then they also changed the dynamics of pricing for payments. So again, if any of these things are affecting you or your clients have said enough is enough. I want to find something else, or well, prices are just one of those things that are going up. I mean, eggs went up by 102%. Well, okay, they've come down by 75%, but anyway, let us know in the Q&A. And it is time for me to tell you that nominations and applications are still open. And let me just say that if you have problems trying to fill out either one of these forms, please email me directly. And my email is on the first page of each of those forms. It tells you what my email is and how to reach out to me. Because we've experienced some problems in the last 5 days. I'm, in fact, meeting with Zoho, who operates the tool we use, at 3 o'clock. And so I've got to get going. But we want to know on our poll where you stand. And you can also use the QR code that I am displaying to reach the portal where you can access the application form, or you can access the US form for applications, or the international form for applications. And so we just want to know where you stand. And if you'd quickly answer that poll, I've got sponsors to talk about. We could not provide the awards program if it were not for these people's very generous support of the Top Advisor Awards. And lastly, I want to say thank you today for everyone that's been here. We at one time, I think, had nearly 150 people. There's still right at more than 100 of you out there. And I want to mention that on February 4th, we will be having the second of our new QB Talks apps. As you know, at the start of January, we went to having QB Talks twice a month. The first Wednesday of each month is QB Talks apps. The third Wednesday that you're here today is our regular QB Talks. And on the 4th, Marjorie Adams of 4Lane is going to be here, and she's going to give us the state of QuickBooks Desktop in 2026. She's got a kind of inside view as to what's happening with desktop. So you'll want to make sure that you are there on February 4th. And with that, I'm going to say once again, thank you for being here, and we appreciate you. And I hope to see you on February 4th when we talk about the state of QuickBooks Desktop in 2026 with Marjorie Adams of 4Lane.